Hey there, how the devil are you? If you are a parent who is experiencing communication breakdown with your kids, especially with your teens, maybe all the trust has been broken, or maybe that they're just not listening to you, or maybe, it's just, you just can't stand to be in the same living room as them, then you've come to the right place. Stay tuned. My name is Kai Graham. I am author of The Teen Toolbox, which is an Amazon bestseller, and it is my mission to support you parents so that together we can build a mentally healthier and happier generation of young people so that we can steer our children through that myriad of challenges that crop up throughout adolescence. In the previous episodes, I've been talking about building rapport with your kids. I've been talking about listening and the language that we use. And what I'm really talking about today is trust and respect. Respect, actually. And the knee-jerk reaction I get from most parents is, respect? You want me to respect my child? Well, as soon as they start behaving like it, once they've earned it, then I'll respect them. But they're being an obnoxious little so-and-so at the minute. And I was, yeah. And that's when they need your compassion and understanding the most. Our kids are going through so much at the minute, so much more than we ever experienced when we were their age. When we were their age, we didn't have knife crime and on the streets. We didn't have gun violence in schools. It wasn't on our radar. There wasn't, yes, there were some things. I'd never even heard of self-harm. Global warming wasn't a thing. All these things, the Me Too, the gender fluidity, all these things are so much more of what is part and parcel of today's world, that it is a confusing place for not only you and I, but for our children as well. And they are at home with you for such a short time that in their sanctuary, which I hope their home is, they need to feel loved, understood and respected. Now, last series I was talking all about emotions when, and I was talking about unconditional and conditional love. Go and hunt that down if you fancy. The previous couple of episodes I was talking about understanding one another and what your child's going through, and so that they can understand you through language and listening skills. But respect, just because they are younger than you, just because they are your child, they still deserve your respect. And if you are not receiving respect from them, then remember that your child is a sponge, and it's a bit like a mirror, and they copy what they see. So if you start paying them the respect that I know that their behaviour might not be warranting, but they are, don't you remember your little miracles? Your little bundles of joy with 10 fingers, 10 toes. The fact that the possibilities in this world were so exciting, and you used to peer at them when they were asleep saying, please, please, please don't grow up. They're still that same person. They're still that child that needs your love and needs your nurturing. And as they get older and try and find their way in the world and try and find where they fit in, they need your respect that they are who they are and it's all right. It's okay, because respect means I believe in you. Respect means I trust that you're being the best person that you can be, and I just love that about you. Respect doesn't mean you doubt their intentions. Lack of respect creates breakdowns, creates ambiguity, creates friction, creates isolation, creates all those, that conflict, that feeling of lost connection. And we need to demonstrate to our children the behaviour that we want to see in them. So that might include trust, that might include patience and openness and respect. Now, for one, one proviso here is you also respect yourself. If your child's being an obnoxious little shit, let's face it, they need to be no, hang on a minute, that's not acceptable. I would not accept that from anyone else, and I will not accept that behaviour from you. That's just unkind, that's rude, that's disrespectful. So enough already. And actually a great way of diffusing bad behaviour is respect yourself enough and give yourself enough, I can't even think of the word respect. Give yourself, that acknowledge who you are in that. No, I'm not going to take this from anyone, even if it is my offspring. So no, stop. That's not how we do it here. I do not have to listen to that, and I'm going to leave you to calm down, and we're going to talk about this later. And invariably the kid follows. I said, well, no, stop. I said I am not putting up with this. And we will talk about, so respect yourself as well, because that sort of in itself creates boundaries. And it says to your child, no, you are not walking over me like a welcome mat. That's just not acceptable either. That's not how we operate. But respect is holding a space for one another. And it's sort of talking about equality. Your values, your opinions, your ideas matter just as much as mine do. Your time matters as much as mine. And I think the thing is when our kids are little, we tend to manage them, we tend to be very autocratic because we can get away with it. And suddenly your child holds up the BS card and they go, no. And that's the problem, is the fact that they might still respect you as a parent, hurrah, but they do not respect your authority any longer. Do you remember when they were 2? Go and sit on the naughty corner. But they did it. Now, your child doesn't, if they have that question over authority, they might not respect the do as I say because I'm your mum. Well, yeah, whatevs. Do you know what I mean? So they might still respect you as a person, but not the authority that you thought you used to stand for. Do you know what? One thing that, talking of respect, one thing that really upsets me, is when I hear a parent disrespecting their child. Well, even, the children aren't even there. Oh my God, he's being such a little bitch. Oh my God, oh God, listen to this. And it's like, hang on a minute. That's just wrong. And I know it is a sort of a girlfriend mentality to, moan about other halves and moan about relationships and moan about kids. But yeah, we can do all that. We can moan, oh my God, but to be disrespectful? Nah. Because our kids are here. We are passing this world onto them. We are, each of us is only here for such a short period of time, and we are just guardians of our children, and we are there to watch their journey and to walk beside them, but we are not there to control them and pull their strings. And it might be a bit woo-woo, maybe you don't agree with that, but that's how I firmly believe, is the fact that we are all here, we all have, whoever we are, you, your kids, me, my kids, we are all, as people, we have equal status on this planet Earth of ours. And I think when you start reflecting that and mirroring that to your children, in that, no, I value what you've got to say. My kids are teaching me stuff, that I wouldn't even, just new stuff the whole time. And I'm there to learn from them just as much. I'm not too old to learn, but I don't know everything. They're teaching me all about, loads of stuff. But so it's accepting that we each have a place here. And I think the thing is that it's also really, really important to realise, especially, well, I was going to say especially in the younger years, but actually all the way, because I would still be, I still feel that I am a role model to my children. And our kids are watching us like a hawk. They're watching us when we drink too much wine and, oh, I've had such a stressful day. They're watching us when we're, you're tucking into a pack of crisps and 10 minutes later going, oh, I'm so fat, it's my bum looking big in this. They're watching us when we are interacting with our other halves. They are watching us when we are coping with stress. They are watching us when we screech at having seen a spider on the floor and now suddenly your child has a phobia of spiders. Do you know what I mean? Our children are permanently watching us, and it is our responsibility to be the guardian of that responsibility, if that makes sense. So they're permanently learning from us, and we too should be learning from them. So ask their opinion. God, how wonderful. Even if it's, I don't know, what's your view on the latest X Factor result? Or you're watching EastEnders and a storyline comes up. Or someone's being bullied at school. Or climate change. Or ask their opinion, because their opinions matter just as much as yours. And it is that feeling of being heard, of being valued, creates that feeling of respect, and it opens up conversations in many different ways you wouldn't believe. But it creates that feeling of togetherness. Yes, we might sort of have things that we have in common, and that brings us together. But also learning about different things and different opinions within family or within community, it doesn't really matter. It's broadening our horizons and being respectful of other people's points of view. And if our kids aren't taught this in the home, how on earth can they reflect that out in the wider community and out in the big wide world? They have to know that it's all right that we are different, same but different. Team Graham, but each of us is playing our part. They're part of a school, but everyone is different. But yet they've got that solidarity. They're part of a group, they're part of a team. And that just conjures up that feeling of support and compassion and togetherness. And it's wonderful to give someone that sense of belonging. Well, how do I do that, Kai? How do I show my disrespectful teen, my arsey teenager, that every fibre of my being wants to yell at them? How do I start showing respect? Well, you start showing your self-respect first and not put up with this. And when it's diffused, maybe just go back to the language episode and tell me a bit of how you're feeling. I want to understand a bit more. How can I help you? How can I support you? I use that the whole time. I can see reflection from episode 2. I can see that this isn't working out for you. Not you need to do X, Y, and Z. How can I support you through this? What do you need from me? And that gives them the respect that they can manage this with your support, without your judgment. I must admit, we tend to want to sort things out for our kids, and the older we get, the less I advise it. A while back, Alice was being bullied. And I got it wrong when I was talking to her. I said, I know, yeah, that's quite right, but I've just been going through this, and so-and-so did that, and what I was trying to do was make her realise that actually her being bullied wasn't as bad as the way someone was treating me. And she just looked at me as if to say, and it was basically, and I can't remember her exact words, but it was like, Mum, this isn't a competition. And it was, oh crap, I got that one wrong. So I think the thing is that when we're trying to support our kids, avoid swapping stories. Avoid doing oh, well, you think that's bad. Listen, yes, we can self-deprecate. Yes, we can sort of try and maintain perspective. But we run, and I failed, we run that line of reducing and diminishing someone's worries because mine was much bigger and worse. Because, as Alice said, it's not a competition. I think the thing is that we need to acknowledge what our kids are going through and go, I see that, I'm here for you. And again, as I've said, and there's in this book, there is a great exercise, it's called the critical thinking model. And it goes through and it helps you to stop solving your kids' problems, but to be open and to unpack everything with your child so that they get the learning at the end of it rather than shut up and let's just do this because it's the easiest way of doing it. They don't learn anything then. When we are going through stuff, we don't learn from our successes, we learn from our mistakes. And we want to build resilience for our kids. We want to make them emotionally more intelligent and more capable of dealing with the next curveball that life throws at us. So sometimes it's just acknowledging what's going on and being there and embracing the silences. You don't have to sort everything out. I remember just sitting there sometimes, just holding their hand, just going, you all right? God, this sucks, doesn't it? Do you need anything? Shall I just stay here? Sometimes you can't make anything better. But just your very presence is the start. And just one thing is we are all learning this parenting game. No one taught us how to do it. No one, well, I was going to say no one gave us a manual. Well, kaigraham.com/book, pretty damn good. But at school we weren't taught how to deal with relationships. We weren't taught how to communicate with our families, with our colleagues. We weren't taught to recognise our emotions. We are learning all this. And your child is learning it too. And do you know what? Sometimes, just sometimes, we get it wrong. And do you know what the most liberating thing to do is? Is to admit it. Rather than papering over the crowd, oh no, just do as I say, oh my gosh, no, I'm invincible, I'm the mother, I'm the father, I'm just great at this, and if they see that I've got it wrong, there'll be a crack in my armour. No. I'm really sorry I screwed up. It's not a competition, Mum. Oh my God, you're quite right, I am so sorry. I was trying to, and I failed. Yeah, I get it. Can I just give you a hug? How do you move on from things? Can we talk about this when you're a bit better? I'm sorry. That's my bad. Let's take a break and do something fun. Let's do, diffusing the situation. Let's just go for a walk. Let's just do something different. But just understanding that we're all learning. We're not going to get it right all the time, but if it comes with the best of intentions, that's what your child knows. If it comes from a place of love and compassion, your child will get that. If it comes from a place where your child is feeling loved, understood, and respected, you'll be doing all right. So, any comments or any DMs, just please reach out. I'm here to support you. I'm here to support you parents so that together we can support our kids, so that we can build a mentally healthier and happier generation of young people. Much love.